The replace of the elite families, or the replacement of the old traditional elite families globally. Welcome. I will share with you some thoughts and inspirations, what I've got from my talk with Ken Costa. Ken Costa was a guest in my Global Wisdom Talk. If you don't have subscribed this Global Wisdom Talk, please do it, that I can continue this very fascinating format to bring thought leaders into in a discussion what actually these $100 trillion wealth transfer actually means. So, first of all, I will share with you in very interesting quote what I got from Machiavelli. You know, Machiavelli have written a very brilliant book about the replacement of the elite. And I will share with you this excellent quote. And the quote is this: a new ruler must replace old elites on secure power. Whoever acquires a new state with different customs must first consider whether he wishes to live there himself or to install colonies, or permit the existing powers to continue. I will give you just my interpretation on this, and this is also what Ken Costa what describes. So first, if you don't know Ken Costa, Ken have written in very brilliant book, and the book is called The $100 Trillion Wealth Transfer. And this book is clearly recommended if you are interested to make a deep dive, but also to open the window, what actually is standing in front of us, what actually means these wealth transfer, what actually we will see on changes, on restructuring of the whole landscape of wealthy families. So, coming back to the point, what I want to share with you today. Undoubtedly, we will see a new class of entrepreneurial families or enterprise families. You name it. It doesn't really matter. These families don't call themselves elites. I call it often, they are the architects and the map makers of tomorrow. Why is it, and how we will see this? First of all, this shift is ongoing. This shift is underway. And the driving force are actually these second and third generation in these families. So these new leaders, they have placed on the table, or they're on a transition to take over the leadership of the family. And their things, and they are considering, and they have a view with great intentions, and they want to do things with more and bigger intentions. And the question comes often more in the room is our present in the family system, determined by our past? Or is the present shaped by our future? What I often see is in many, many families around the globe, the present is determined by the past. And if the present is determined by the past, you live in the past, undoubtedly. And that is just not for your benefit. But if your present, the now, the today, whatever you want, is shaped by your future, your bigger goal from whatever you want to achieve as a family, you will be find different ways. And it means also in many cases that you are looking for new power bases, your new power paths. And the new class of families will structure themselves quite differently. They are more structured as an organization, as a professional organization. And they want to achieve a bigger impact, not over the next decade or over the next 30 years or 50 years. They are looking beyond centuries. Because on the one hand, we have so many challenges to face in each society. And on the global spectrum, we need these families with a lot of power in their hands. But also on the flip side of this, I mean, many news and many newspapers will report on this, is that these old traditional elites are very disconnected from the societies, and that is just their fail. So it is just up to you to decide on which side of the table do you want to take a seat on. Just take this example, just is your present determined by your past, by your parents, by your grandparents? Or do you have, as the newer generation, and you have a seat on the table, and you look into the future and you say, no, our present don't determined by our past. It is just better that we are shaping our present from our future. That is just the opposite. It is just more powerful. And you're looking for creative ways. And undoubtedly, the byproduct of this should be that you are growing up in a new class of very powerful families. As an architect of tomorrow, as a mapmaker of tomorrow. And it is not so what we have seen in the past, that there are very unclear paths. It's just that these generations are raising the question, okay, is there a system, is there a structure available, what saves us, what gives us just more speed to achieve our goal? So, as a conclusion for today, yes, we will see a new class of elite families. Once again, this generation will hate this word elite. They call themselves as the architects and the mapmakers of tomorrow. I will serve them. I will support them, that they are having family continuity over the next century, over the next 200 years, 500 years, and maybe 1,000 years. There's a clear request for this new class of families. So that is just, I would call, one byproduct, one main result nobody talks about. Nobody talks about the shift in the market landscape. And these families, these newer generation of families, will change the landscape completely. Not in 10 years, not in 30 years, not in 50 years. The shape is ongoing, is underway. It's up to you to decide in your family which path do you want to pick up. For now, be great, and maybe this kind of inspiration is helpful for your strategy discussions. And once again, I will clearly recommend the book from Ken Costa, The $100 Trillion Wealth Transfer. It is very, very valuable to read. But if you say, I don't have the time to read the book, I put a link in the show notes from my talk with Ken Costa. He mentioned that changing the landscape scenario, these new elite of families in the talk. For now, be great. Until next.